Okay, we're live. Good evening. I just wanted to talk a little bit about being an artist because I feel like it's literally the one thing that's keeping me going these days because it's just a lot's going on in my personal life that just, sometimes it feels so heavy. It feels so difficult to feel motivated and inspired to keep going on. And I really think that it's the work that I do and the way that I do it that really keeps me going and literally pulls me out of an emotional slump sometimes. And I'm getting ready to go to Florida tomorrow. I actually have a dog in the morning to groom, and then as soon as I'm done with my client's dog, I'm gonna start traveling down to Orlando, Florida, making that 7 hour drive. And for me, I think I want to strive to be the kind of artist that Seth not Miller. I just saw Terry Miller. Hey, what's up, Terry? Seth Godin, not Seth Miller. Seth Godin talks about. He talks about being doing the kind of work that doesn't come with a set of instructions. He was saying that if it comes with a map, if it comes with a set of instructions, if you're just following a recipe, then you're not an artist, right? If you're following someone else's recipe, then you're a cook, not a chef, right? A chef is someone who creates something new. And I remember this quote by Mario Batali. He was saying that life is not a recipe, and even a recipe is just someone else's suggestion that got written down. And he was saying that never let anyone else's formula for success intimidate you or prevent you, like stop you from going after your dreams, and creating a life that you want. And I'm kind of paraphrasing there. I'm sure that's not exactly the quote, but that's the idea. And for me, going down and grooming Charlie, the really aggressive Shih Tzu, on Saturday. So after I'm done with my client's dog, I'm gonna come up, grab my bags, let my dogs out one last time. Well, my mom's gonna take care of them, of course, while I'm gone. But spend a little time with them before I go, and then make that 7 hour drive down Friday night. Friday afternoon, get there Friday evening late, and then check in my Airbnb, and then wake up early Saturday morning and start grooming Charlie. For me, it's knowing that I'm making a positive impact, knowing that I'm actually doing something that's going to make a change in someone's life, in that dog's life, something that doesn't come with a set of instructions, right? Because she's so vicious and so dangerous to groom that sometimes, the first time I did it, I was actually, I'll be honest, I was scared. I was scared to stream it because I just didn't know if I was going to be able to pull it off. And I didn't want to look like a failure. And also, I didn't want to accidentally injure the dog. I was also scared of what people might say about the dog and the owners. I let fear stop me from sharing that experience with everybody. So this time, I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna stream it live, and you share it with everyone. Share the experience with everyone to make sure, that because Seth Godin is saying that what makes an art is it has to be generous in nature, right? Share it with others. Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta. Okay. All right, and so that's what I want to do this time, and for, I don't want to get too much into details of my personal life or anything, but a lot of my identity came from, being a family man, being a good dad, being a good husband. A lot of my sense of self-worth came from that. And when I lost that, um, it really took a toll on me. It really had a real effect on me, like a huge effect on me. And I kind of, it was just difficult. It changed me a lot. And then I just I really had to focus on something productive, right? And for me, it was my work, and I feel so lucky. that I have work that I actually really care about, and that makes me feel like I have some sort of sense of purpose, still. Um, and the thing is though, even though I'm going through a really tough time in my personal life, I think that it's if I look at it in a different way, it's really good because now I have an opportunity to really accept myself fully and not be so judgmental about myself, and also let go of the self-righteous, the need to look perfect, the need to look good, you know and I think that was a real big reason why I didn't stream it last time, because I was afraid of looking bad, you know but now I don't want to, I want to not allow those fears to control my behavior and what I do, um, you know, and also accept myself 100% with all my flaws, with all the mistakes, and it's like, yeah, I guess when I think about it, it's like, how can I really practice self-acceptance, and how can I understand what it feels like to forgive myself if I never go through anything like this, right? And it's really kind of given me a lot more a sense of empathy, towards others as well, who might be suffering the same thing that I suffer from. Um, just the guilt that I feel, and the sadness, the heartbreak that I in my heartache that I feel, that my daughter doesn't want to spend time with me, and that she doesn't really, like me anymore, and just the guilt, and all of that. But it's just when I look, I can choose to look at it a different way. How can I practice? How can I know what it feels like to love someone unconditionally? Love my daughter unconditionally, without having to go through this. Just letting her know I love you, and letting her, always just giving my love without needing that back, without needing that love and affection in return, and just giving her my love, without how can I know unconditional love if I don't get an opportunity like this to practice it, right? And so I really, I'm trying to look at everything in a good way, but also going back to the original idea of this stream tonight is, you know, I think that the biggest thing for me is, oh, Terry Miller, that's fantastic. Uh, you're going to stream your groom with Charlie. Awesome. Your openness is incredibly brave and refreshing. Looking at it differently is beautiful. Oh, thank you, Terry. But yeah, so this time I am gonna stream the groom live with Charlie, because you know I don't know if it's gonna work out. Last time I got I got lucky. I got pretty lucky that everything worked out fine and she was okay, and who knows, this time, she might zig when I zag and something might happen, and that's okay. You know, understand. That's what Seth Godin says. He's saying that what makes art, what makes an artist is there's an element of risk. This might not work out. They might not like this. Something could happen. I could lose my reputation. You know, Something terrible could happen. It might not work out. That this is what makes an artist, right? Taking a chance, because it's meaningful enough to someone else, right? Doing work that is is making an impact on someone, solving a real problem for somebody, right? And I think that by showing how I, how to not react, I guess, how to respond in a way that is calm and reassuring to the dog, even though it seems like I'm not really getting through to her. It seems like she's just wild and crazy, and just her eyes are like, crazy eyed. It's like she goes full red zone and just attack mode, and showing how, how I do it, and I actually don't even have a plan really. I just go in and I just try to adapt to the situation, and I just have an end goal in mind. I know that, what I want to accomplish is get her, like, all the mats off of her, get her shaved down and comfortable, and you know, scissor around her face and everything. Just get her so that all the matting and everything is off, because that's really just what we have to do is just get all the mats off, get her shaved down so she's not matted and uncomfortable, and just, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I know that's the end goal, to have her safely trimmed, right? Get her all trimmed up safely. That's the end goal. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, though. There is no way to plan for it because she's totally unpredictable. Um, what's up, Lee? Zen, yeah. So that's, understanding and just accept how she's feeling and just work around it, right? Not try to change her because you can't change her and you can't control her, because the more we try to restrain her and we even try to put a muzzle on her, she flipped out. And once she ripped the muzzle off, she was even more mad, so we were like, okay, let's not do that again, so with her, there really is no playbook. There really is no set of instructions or a map or anything that I can follow. It's just, and I think that's what makes it art, right? Because, you know it's something that really is important to their owners, that she's comfortable, that she's not all matted up and everything, all the mats around the eyes and, around, that's taken off, it's removed so she's comfortable and clean, right? So this is something that's really important to the dog's health and to the owners. They don't want to sedate her anymore, because whenever they get her sedated at the vet, when she's like completely unconscious, they're saying that for like a whole week she's just not herself. She's angry, she's upset, and also, it's not always guaranteed that she's going to wake up, and they just don't want to put her through that every time. So that's why they contacted me. And when the owner in the email told me that it keeps her up at night and she's not able to sleep, and sometimes it just the anxiety that they feel, whenever whenever the subject of getting her groomed comes up, and it even causes arguments sometimes. It touched me. I felt it, and I wanted to help, and I knew that I could help, and so that's why, for me, doing things like this makes my life meaningful in a time right now where it's really easy for me to start spiraling down into a really dark place. Knowing that I still have this set of skills to offer people that is valuable to them, and the thing is, poor pub, she must have been terrified. Yeah, she's totally terrified. I mean, we don't really know what happened to her in the first 4 or 5 years of her life. This couple drove up to, I think they said, where was it? I think they said it was Kennesaw, or they drove up to North Georgia to adopt her, to rescue her, and when they adopted her, like 4 or 5 years ago, she's about 9 years old now. When they adopted her, she was completely terrified of everything, wouldn't trust anyone. She bites her owners. Still to this day, she bites them sometimes, just out of habit, I guess. But yeah, it's a really tough situation. But to know that I can do something to help them, it really makes me feel like my life is worth something, like I don't know how to exactly put it into words. Amateur superfan, hell yeah, I caught the stream. Oh yeah, how are you, amateur superfan? Liz, I feel like you will do awesome. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, so Brandon is the father, is the dog's dad, and you'll see him in the live stream because he helps me hold her. Um, when her mom was like worried, she told me that she was like kind of, she felt a lot of anxiety, and she was like asking her boyfriend, "Do you think June's gonna be able to do it?" He was like, "Yeah." I think so. And then he, the first time I went down, and then he told her, and even if he can't, then we'll figure it out. We'll figure out something else. And she said that really helped, just calm her down. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people have a lot of faith in me, like more faith in me than I have in myself, because I had a lot of self doubt as well. I just knew that I wanted to help, and I knew that I possibly could, but I wasn't sure. Um, Definitely worth something. Oh, thank you, Terry. I get what you're saying. Yeah. So, man, I mean, she sounds like you're just the kind of groomer she needs. Yeah, right. I mean, and that's a it's I don't have a lot of clients. I have like 34, now 35, I think, cuz I just added a new client, but I don't have a lot of clients. But I realize I don't need a lot of clients, and I can't serve a lot of clients because the time I take in, with each dog. So yeah, it makes me feel like a real artist because I'm not trying to serve the masses. I'm not trying to do, just mediocre work, just something that anyone else can do. I'm not trying to just, do work that everyone else does just a little cheaper. And that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is, something very uniquely me. I'm not trying to say I'm better or worse or anything. I'm just saying this is the work that I do is unique to me. It's the way I do it. And if if you want someone cheaper, of course there are many groomers that can do it cheaper than I can. If you want it faster, yes, a lot of groomers can do it faster. But if you want a dog groomed the way I groom them, then I'm the only one. I'm the only guy in town to call, and that makes me feel really special. And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but it's just, it just, for me right now, I don't have a lot to feel good about these days. I feel terrible about, you know, losing my family. And, you know, it's just really hard sometimes. It's just really sad that, that I don't have my daughters in my life the way I used to. It just makes me feel really sad sometimes. And I just sometimes I triggered, and I'll start getting like anxiety. Earlier today, I was at the Social Security office to get apply for a replacement card. And I only found out recently when I tried to work at Petco and I couldn't find my Social Security card. I was like, oh my God. So I don't only recently found out that I lost my card. And so I was at the Social Security office, and all of a sudden I just started panicking, about something so small. Like my name, my legal name is spelled CHUNSONYUN, but on my Social Security card, way back in the, when I was younger, when we applied for a Social Security card, I spelled it JUNSUNYUN, June Sun Yoon, because that's my name, June, not Chun, not Chun. And so I just hated the way my legal name was spelled. So I spelled it JUN on my Social Security card. And so all my life now, I've been having to explain, when my driver's license says CHUN and my Social Security card and I pay my taxes using the JUN. And I just started to freak out. I started to think, okay, what if they don't give me what if they tell me I can't, because my name's different on my driver's license. And I just started panicking. And then I was thinking, and the security guard was walking around and he had a gun and stuff. And I was just thinking, I don't know why, but my mind just started spiraling. I started to shake, and I started to feel panicked and scared. And I was thinking, what if they put me in jail because I'm using two different names? And I was just like, get a hold of yourself. I was like, you're not going to jail because you use two different names, like that's stop being ridiculous. And then I started to, like just I couldn't shake the feeling, and then all of a sudden I started thinking about my daughters, and then I started feeling sad, and all of this stuff. And then even on the drive home I started I was feeling shaky and all. So anyways, I just told myself, everything's okay. what if everything's fine? And everything was okay. I sat down when they called my number. I sat down and I gave them my driver's license, and I started pulling out all these like paperwork that I brought. I was like, okay, and then he checks it. He was like, your name's already changed. It's CHUN on here too. And I was like, oh, what? And back in 2003, I got naturalized. I got my citizenship certificate, and when I got that, they updated it in their system at the Social Security office. So at my Social Security card, my new card is gonna say CHUN, my legal name, and so everything was fine. It's like I was freaking out for nothing. And I just told myself, what if everything I'm freaking out about, what if everything that I'm feeling sad and anxious about, what if it's all okay? What if it's all just fine? And what if everything is actually exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? What if my daughters and I have to go through this so that I can appreciate the relationship that we will have in the future even more after going through this, right? What if it's making me a more empathetic person, more compassionate, more loving, more understanding, less self-righteous, less judgmental, more forgiving? What if this is all a very good thing? What if everything is happening because it's supposed to happen the way it's happening? What if I can just accept it, right? And it really just helped me feel better. But that's kind of how I worked out, because I'm not on any medication. I don't even smoke weed. And I don't drink alcohol anymore. Well, I drank some wine last night, but because I was eating some steak. I was cooked myself some steak. I thought I'd treat myself to a little wine. But anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Well, my point is that even though I'm going through a lot of difficult situations right now, and emotionally, what's really helping me get through this is feeling like my work matters. Is feeling like I'm doing work that actually matters for people who actually care, right? Not just doing work that's good enough just to make a paycheck, just to pay my bills, and just serving as many people as I can, trying to get more clients, trying to get more business. No, I'm not trying to get more business. I'm not trying to get more clients. I'm trying to be more impactful and more helpful to the clients I already have, you know? And that to me is very meaningful. And, okay, let me get to some of these comments. Amateur Superfan. One time I groomed a Chinese meat market dog, and it was one of the scariest grooms of my life, but I got it done. Wow, this Amateur Superfan. Good for you. CD, I know you will do great. You're a blessing to all of the dogs you groom. Thank you. Crystal Corey, when I applied for my job, I found out my SS card and license have both been spelled wrong for well over 5 years. Oh, wow. Interesting. Lee says, but that's one of the demons of anxiety. Things spiral out so damn fast. Yeah. And I just have to remind myself to breathe. And I just ask myself, what if everything's okay? Maybe everything is supposed to be the way it is. I don't know, right? Amateur Super in June, can I make a t-shirt using your image? Whoa, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, why not? That would, wow. I mean, I would be flattered. What? I'd be honored. Why would you want this face on here? Anyways, Lee, maybe that's what's missing for me. No purpose. And the thing is, maybe, like, just pick a purpose, choose a purpose for yourself, right? Because the work that I do really is of my own choosing. Nobody appointed me to be, a house call groomer and groom special need dogs and stuff like that, and groom the way a lot of people have told me, like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Like, stop trying to just groom the way everyone else grooms. Like, I picked this for myself. So Lee, maybe choose a purpose for yourself, because I feel like you're never going to walk out the door and see some writing in the sky saying, this is your purpose in life. I think we just have to choose, and maybe go back to our childhood, right? Because Simon Sinek says we all have a why, something that drives us, why we want to do what we do, and he's saying that It's usually something that stems from your childhood, something that was really meaningful to you in your childhood. For me, thinking back, I know clearly what is my why, what drives me. It's when I was a kid, things weren't always peaceful in my household. Sometimes things got really scary. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, every once in a while, my mother's pastor would come when things got really bad. And he would talk to them, counsel them, he would pray with them. And when he left, things were a little better. And I looked up to that man so much. And I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be the kind of person that can enter a situation, no matter how bad it was. And when I leave, things were a little better. I wanted to be that guy. So I thought I wanted to be a pastor. So my whole life, I always knew I was going to be a pastor. And I even went to, a church school, a Bible school down in Florida called Soul, Southern Outreach Leadership School. I was my senior class pastor in high school. I went to a Christian academy. That was my life path. I just always knew I was going to be a pastor. But when I actually went to the Bible school, it didn't feel right anymore. It didn't feel like a calling. I didn't feel that strong sense of the purpose, and I didn't feel called to the ministry. And I just feel like, you know, being a preacher, being a pastor is not something you do because you want to do it. You have to be called into that position. And I didn't feel the calling, and I remember feeling so devastated. Like, for a time, I lost my sense of purpose, and I got involved with the wrong crowd, with some Korean gangsters and stuff, and because I just wanted to feel like I was a part of something. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be accepted. And so I did a lot of things that I regret, but it it made me more wise, I think, to human nature and the human condition. So I don't really regret all the things that I went through and experienced, because now I know more, and I'm more compassionate and more empathetic, and I understand human nature a little better, because I saw some things that I would have imagined. But once I lost that sense of purpose, that I'm not going to be a pastor anymore, I kind of you know lost motivation to live, like. But then, now that I found something that I really love, and I realize now I'm doing what I always wanted to do as a kid by doing this house call grooming. I go into a situation like Charlie's situation down in Orlando, where she is a problem dog. She, and some people, like, they were telling me, the owners were telling me that at the vet's office they call her the devil dog. And so this is a problem, and things are pretty bad, when it comes to grooming her. I get to go in there, and no matter how bad the situation is with Charlie, because I was there, when I leave, things are better. I am doing exactly what I wanted to do as a child, and that's why I feel like, living my why, doing something that makes me feel like an artist, doing something that makes me feel like I've made a positive impact, that somebody has changed for the better because of the work that I did. It makes me feel like life is worth living. Let's see. Amateur Superfriend. The new smartwatch has this function where it tells you to breathe deep and slowly. Honestly, for a machine to remind you to breathe correctly, it was a very amazingly calm experience. Oh, nice. Amateur Superfriend says, I volunteer at a local shelter, and it's very eye-opening how society really is. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I understand now that nobody wants to be a bad person, and we're all doing the best we can. And sometimes we do things that might harm others, but a lot of times it's because the person doing it doesn't feel a lot of sense of purpose. They don't feel proud of themselves. They're hurt inside. And I got to see this. And when you get to know someone, no matter how quote unquote bad they might be, I realized everybody inside just wants to be loved. Everyone wants to feel accepted, connected with someone, you know? Um, and yeah, really, we all want the same thing, right? We all want to be happy and suffer less, you know? And happiness is a funny thing because it feels like the more you chase happiness, the more it eludes you, right? Like the Dalai Lama said, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. And a lot of times, like, I catch myself feeling like, oh, you know, if if my daughter, finally understood how I feel and she would forgive me, and if our relationship gets better, then I'll feel happy. You know, I'll be happy when this. I'll be happy if I accomplish this, when I get that, And it's like, no, I just realized I have to just choose to be happy now. It's not, you know, I'll be happy when I, I get that, or when I do this. It's more like when I'm happy, I will eventually get that, or do this. It's like I just have to be happy with the situation that I'm in. Just accept the fact, and be happy that you know this is this is probably a good thing. Maybe I just don't I don't understand it now because I'm going through it, but I have to believe that in the future this will all work itself out, and it will make me a better person, a more understanding, more empathetic person, and just be more forgiving and understanding of others, because now I'm forced to try to forgive myself and try to be more understanding and accepting of myself. And they say you can't give what you don't have, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. I have to first learn to accept myself, accept the fact that I'm not as great as I thought I was. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. And accept myself anyways. Forgive myself for my mistakes and my flaws, you know, and totally love myself, even when I feel unlovable. When I feel rejected by my own family, when I feel outcasted, when I feel alienated, I feel like, they don't love me anymore. It's okay. Loving myself anyways, even when I feel unloved. And then by doing that for myself, I can now give it to others, forgive others, accept them the way they are. Um, let's see, Crystal Corey, sounds like you found your purpose, but still a helper, just in a different way. Yeah, yeah. And the crazy thing is, even when I was like raving and I was at the clubs and everything, I was always still the helper there too. I was always looking for a way to cheer people up, make a situation better. It's just who I am. It's just what I love to do, and it makes me feel like my life is worth living, by being helpful to someone else. Lee says, yes, I had my purpose and it's not possible right now. I guess I need to revisit that, let go of what I was called to, and find the next thing that I am just not seeing. Thank you, that helps. Oh, you're welcome, Lee. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the thing is, you know, let go of letting go is really difficult, right? I mean, I'm learning that by doing that though, letting go of my own expectations of myself, it's like, okay, my daughters don't want, it's like I've lost my relationship with my daughters. Okay, well, by trying to grasp onto it and calling them too much, texting them too much, it actually gives the opposite response that I want. I want them to know how much I love them and how much I care about them and how much I wish we could, communicate like the way we used to again. By doing that, by grasping too much, I'm actually losing the thing that I want. And so by letting it go and giving them their space and letting them allowing them to feel how they feel, respecting how she feels, and honoring it, letting her know you're completely allowed, you're totally allowed to feel the way you feel about me, and I respect that. You know, giving her space, being able to let go of what once was, right? And being able to let go of this need to look perfect, this need to look great, like a great person, this letting go of that, letting go of my need to, feel like other people think so highly of me, letting that go as well. It's like so okay, so people, let's say people lose their respect for me. Okay, that's okay. Just let that go. Let the need to look good, the need to feel accepted, the need for other people's good opinions of me, just let that all go. My daughters don't want anything to do with me. Okay, well, let it go. You know, they say if you really love something, let it go, right? And if it loves you back, it'll come back. So yeah, just letting them go, because I love them, not because I don't love them, but because I love them. Let them go, right? And let them have their own experiences in life. And hopefully one day, we'll be able to come back together and have a more meaningful relationship because of what we went through, right? I hope. Um, Crystal Core, I feel like grooming these dogs is also helping you just as much as you're helping them. Exactly. It's really helping me more actually than I'm helping them, I think, because it gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me this feeling of meaning in my life. Because if without it, I think I might give up. Like I almost did a few times. I never thought that I would ever go through a divorce. I never thought it was possible. I mean, even though it was always being threatened, and like it almost happened a few times, but like I just knew, we would make up, and I just didn't think that it would ever really happen. And now that it is, and I never thought that my daughters would ever hate me. I just never thought that was possible, because I love them so much and I did everything I could. I never thought it was possible, but it is. It's like, so I feel like, by trying to be helpful to others, by trying to help the dogs that I groom, it really is helping me more. It's giving me a sense of purpose. It's giving me a reason to stick around, you know, because I feel like at least I'm being helpful to someone. At least my existence is making a positive impact on just a few people. Like this live stream, it's just a few people, right? And my clients, it's just a few. And Charlie, it's just one dog down in Orlando. But to make a big difference in just one person's life, just one dog's life, it it helps me more than I help that dog, because it gives me a reason to stick around. Um, let's see, amateur superfan. There's no better feeling that connecting with a dog that is almost unconnectable. I think that's how I got addicted to working with dogs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Harley, especially that aggressive Yorkie on my other channel that kind of blew up. I mean, now that Harley actually likes seeing me, he comes up to me when I arrive. He walks me out. He gives me kisses while I'm grooming him. The feeling is just unexplainable. I mean, it's so rewarding. I mean, because a dog is too honorable. It's too noble to be bribed. You can't buy that, Like, you just earn it over time, and the dog trusts you now. And it's like, oh my God, it feels so good. Um, Terry, I think you're on the right track with your thinking. Thank you, Terry. I'm trying. I'm trying to, stay focused and just try to focus on the positive rather than look at the negative, because Dr. Wayne Dyer is, he says when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So even though my situation is the same, when I change the way I look at it, it feels like the situation does change. It's not such a bad situation anymore. Now I can look at it in a good way, that, I'm learning to really find myself. Because, again, my sense of worth, my sense of, like, value as a human being came from feeling like I was a good husband and a good father. Now that that's gone, now that that's taken away, like, I have to find myself again, find a reason to like myself and love myself, accept myself. And it was really tough. It was really tough because I just felt like, I'm not a good guy, and I'm a failure, and I failed my marriage, I failed my kids, I disappointed them, and now they don't like me. And it's like, you know, it was really tough to find a reason to like myself again. But I realized the fact that I'm still here, I have to trust that there is a higher intelligence that's giving me life, right? That that's waking me up every morning, giving me another opportunity every day to live and try to be a better person, right? And try to be helpful to others, benefit others by my existence. There's got to be a higher intelligence, something greater than myself that's keeping me going. I have to have faith that there's a reason why, right? And if this greater intelligence sees something in me that feels like it's worth keeping me alive, then maybe that's where my value should come from. The fact that I'm here, the fact that I'm alive, the fact that I'm a human being, and I can do human work, right? Work that only a human being can do, which is art, which is doing something that's risky and generous and doing it for someone in a very unique way that connects with them, that touches their heart. This is something that I can do that only a human being can do. And maybe that's where I can draw my sense of value, my sense of self-worth, and I can love myself for that reason, right? Even though I am flawed, I'm embarrassingly flawed. And even though, shoot, I'm not that, I'm not only am I not perfect, I'm very flawed, but that's okay. And learning to accept myself, the way I am, and just seeing value in the fact that I'm here, right? Amateur super, the dichotomy of seeking happiness, the seeking reminds you of that you do not have what you're searching, and therefore often leading to the opposite way. To seek happiness is to be reminded of your sadness. That's interesting. That's very deep. That's profound. Yeah. Well, I think because Jim Rohn says something very similar. He's saying that success is not something that you pursue. It's something that you attract by the person you become. Because the more you pursue it, the more it eludes you. Maybe we can change the word success to happiness, right? And that way we can say the same quote, happiness is not something that you pursue. It's something that you attract by the person you become. Because the more you pursue happiness, the more it will elude you. And I guess it's like, if you want to be happy, just be happy. You don't do happy. There's nothing you can do to make yourself happy. You just be happy, right? Just like we're not human doings, we're human beings. Just be, right? Interesting. Crystal LaCour, I originally came to your channel to learn how to groom, but I keep coming back to listen to your philosophical advice more than anything. Wow, thank you, Crystal. And this is just, my thoughts. It's not truth. It's not, it's just me. It's just my opinions, and it's just what I'm going through right now. And it might change, the more I experience life, the more my thoughts about life change, right? So Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the conversations, I guess. But yeah, don't ever think that my truth is the truth, right? It's just my opinion about what's going on, and how I see things now. Um, right, Crystal? Same. And we're just saying, oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about, the trip that I'm about to go on and why it's so important for me to feel like the work that I'm doing, it matters. Why it's so important for me to be an artist, And an artist, Seth Godin likes to say, an artist is not somebody who paints or sings or, does all these creative things, in the creative arts. An artist is anyone who does work that is generous in nature, that's risky, that has an element of risk, that it might not work out. You're not following anybody else's recipe, you know? There's no set of instructions on how to do it. You're just seeing a problem and you're trying to come up with a unique and creative way to solve a problem for someone else, and it's making a connection. It changes the heart. It touches the heart of the person that you're doing it for, you know? That's what makes someone an artist. And for me, that's what gives me a reason to keep going. So this trip down to Florida, it really is helping me more than it's helping the owners of Charlie, and Charlie, Um, amateur superfan. Yes, happiness is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. Because the more you seek happiness, the more it eludes you. Brilliant. Yeah, right. Because that's really why we want success, right? We can change success with happiness, because I think that's why we want to feel successful. That's why we want to be a success, because we believe that that's going to make us feel happy, you know? Once I achieve a certain level of success, then I'll be happy. It's like, no, no. Jim Carrey, he says he wishes everyone would get, rich and famous or whatever it is that they want, because that's not where the answer is. That's not where the key to happiness is found. And I really think that's true, because no matter where you go, you take yourself with you, right? And so no matter when you get there, you realize you're still the same person you were before, and so you're no more happier than you were before. You have to just choose to be happy now, in this moment, even with all my deficiencies, even with all my flaws, even with all of the difficult situations and the difficult emotions that I'm feeling. I can still choose to be happy right now. Because there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way, right? I think that sometimes I have a hard time feeling happy because I feel like I don't deserve to feel happy. I feel like I'm not deserving of it, because, you know, I just feel like I almost feel like it would be irresponsible of me. It would be childish, immature of me to feel happy because I'm going through, difficult times in my personal life. It almost feels like it would be, irresponsible, immature, naive, of me to be happy. But when I think about it, I think it actually shows resiliency, right? It shows strength of character to choose to be happy even when I feel rejected by the ones I care about the most. I can still choose to be happy and feel grateful that I get to experience this, you know? I get to experience what it feels like to go through that, so that I can feel more empathy when someone else is going through something like that. I can care more. I can connect with them more. And why do I feel like life shouldn't be, you know, why should I feel like life should take it easy on me? I'm nothing special. I'm no one special. Why do I deserve to get a pass on the difficult, situations that life gives people? Why do I deserve a pass? I don't. Actually, I'm lucky and grateful that I get to experience some hardships, because now I can connect with others on a deeper level. Terry Miller, I feel like you're a true artist, June. You do touch the hearts of people and animals. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. That really means a lot, and because I mean, at this point, that's all I've got left. That's all I have left. Um, I need to feel like I'm able to help others, because if I don't have that, then I feel like I've lost everything. But even that's not bad when you think about it, because isn't there that quote from Fight Club? It's only after you lost everything that you're free to do anything. One of my friends actually reminded me of that quote, and it really did help, because I was telling him, I feel like I've lost everything. I feel like I've lost everything that matters. Yeah, I still have a good source of income, and money is okay now, and I'm able to pay my bills comfortably, and I'm in a good place in my as far as my career. But I just feel like none of that really matters without my family, without my daughters. And I just feel like I've lost everything that really matters and meaningful to me. But it's only after we've lost everything we're free to do anything, right? And I have to and I also feel like this is a good opportunity for me to really figure out who I am. Really figure out, who am I, right? And what is it that makes me feel, what is it that makes me deserving of my existence, right? It's there's that quote, Bob Proctor shared it. It was about someone that he looked up to, but he was saying, if I want to be free, then I've got to be me. Not the me that my wife wants me to be, not the me that my children expect me to be. But if I want to be free, then I've got to be me. So I better figure out who me really is. And it's been a few months. It was a few months ago that I heard that quote, and it really hit me. I was like, my God, he's right. If I want to be free, then I've got to be me. Well, if that's true, then I better figure out who me really is. Who am I? Who is this person? Because I thought I was a good father. I thought I was a good husband. I thought I was a good groomer, dog groomer. And it's like, now that I have to re-examine my life and reevaluate everything, and really figure out, who am I if I'm not a good father anymore. Well, I can still be a good father, right? And part of being a good father is being a good father, being supportive, encouraging, loving, no matter how they're behaving towards me, right? No matter what, it doesn't matter if they're returning my love and affection. I can always still give it, so I can still be a good father. I'm no longer a husband, but I can still be a good partner, right? A good co-parent with her, because she's always still going to be a part of my life, because we're connected through our children. So I can just be more understanding with her, more forgiving, more caring, and just be supportive, and provide her with the financial support that she needs to raise our children. Just I can still be a good partner, right? And yeah, just trying to figure out who I really am, and just trying to I guess trying to feel a sense of self-worth, even though it feels like everything that I cared about is falling apart, has just been like shattered. Lee, so I wonder how many times we have to go through the grinder before we can rest. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have to continually go through it, right? Because, yeah, when I lost my business, I thought things couldn't get worse, and then when like, yeah, it was one thing after another, just always kind of feeling like, wow, this is a new low. It was like, no, 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 we can handle more, you know? But even now, because I used to complain a lot. When I look at some of my Facebook posts from like 9 years ago or 10 years ago, I complained a lot. I complained about how tired I was, how I got to walk my dogs in the morning, and, when I want to just sleep in and all this stuff. But now, I feel like life prepares us, right? So because now I wake up early, walk my dogs, I cook myself breakfast, make the dogs breakfast, go to work, come back, sometimes I hit the gym when I have time, and then walk my dogs, cook myself dinner, well, feed them first and then cook myself dinner, and I do some admin work, I do all I do everything, I mean, and I while I'm doing a load of laundry, while I do the dishes, all this stuff, take out the trash on the trash day, like all of this stuff, and then I go to sleep and I do it all again the next day, and before I don't think I would have been able to handle it without feeling like I'm gonna lose it, without feeling frustrated and like I have no time to do anything else, it's like there is nothing else. This is it, it's like, and feeling happy that I get to do this and that I'm able to do this, like, yeah, I just feel like that by going through the grinder and coming out on the other side, we become stronger. We're able to handle more, right? And I think that going through the heartache and the disappointment of losing my business and then going in debt and handling that, feeling like I was never going to get out of debt, but now kind of coming out of that, and I still got some work to do on my credit, and I'm gonna handle that. Um, I had taxes that I couldn't pay, but I got that handled. Now I have a payment plan with them, and like just handling one thing after another, because I used to avoid it, like I just wouldn't want to even pay attention to it. I didn't even want to open up my mail because like I was scared. I didn't want to see the bills I couldn't pay. I would just avoid my problems. But now I almost found like a sense of joy. I feel proud of myself for tackling the things that I don't want to really deal with, and doing it anyways, doing the difficult things, and handling the difficult emotions, allowing myself to feel it, not trying to numb myself anymore, not trying to escape the difficult feelings, but allowing myself to feel it. Because there's a book called The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, and she's saying that when we numb ourselves to the negative emotions, that the difficult emotions that we don't want to feel, we're also numbing ourselves to the positive emotions as well. So let them in. Allow yourself to feel the difficult and negative emotions, and you know work through it, right? And then then that opens us up to also feel the positive emotions, the feeling of joy, the feeling of, love and connection, right? Um, Sometimes, Crystal LaCroix says, sometimes we get so caught up in the busyness of life and trying to make others happy that we lose ourselves. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, maybe this is life giving me an opportunity to find myself, you know? Maybe this is life saying, okay, you're not going to get the love and affection from your children that you desperately seek and want. And you don't have the approval of your wife anymore. In fact, you don't even have a marriage anymore, All of these things that I use to validate myself and, to feel like I'm a worthy human being, all of these things taken away. Now all I have is myself. Maybe this is life giving me an opportunity to find myself and find who I really am, and be able to be okay with it. Be okay with myself, even though I'm not perfect. I'm not even a great guy. I think that sometimes maybe what bothered me more is knowing that I'm not a great guy, but acting like I was one, you know? And now maybe what I can find some freedom and some relief by just being who I am, not having to act like I'm something better, or I'm this great guy or anything. It's like, no, I'm not, you know, but it's okay, right? Um, Lee says, I remember that shock of not being a wife and then not being a mom and trying to understand what's next. The reality is that nothing stays the same and it happens to everyone. Meh, I'm just old and worn out. It's just feeling overwhelming to have to start over from scratch again. Mm-hmm. Wow, Lee. And I know that it's difficult. It's been a year now, right, since you fell and hurt your leg, and you're not able to be mobile. You're not able to move around the way you used to. You're kind of stuck at home now, and you're not even able to move around as freely as you want, even in your own home. And yeah, you went through a divorce, and that was like 7 years ago, right? And now your daughter is older and she's out in a different state than you, right? So you don't really get to see her often. And so yeah, it's like I guess you can feel so alone, and you could feel so sad. This feeling of loss of everything that you felt gave you a sense of purpose, right? Gave you meaning in your life. And now you feel so alone, and you feel so frustrated that you can't do the things that you want to do as freely as you want, and you've lost the ability to be mobile physically, walk around the way you want. You go up and down the stairs without feeling scared that you might fall and hurt yourself again. I remember reading that one post that you said you literally slid off the bed, and you were like, nah, I mean, I can't even imagine how it would feel to feel scared in your own home that you might hurt yourself. You can't even move around the way you wanted to, the way you want to. And when you do move around, you have that constant anxiety because you don't want to accidentally hurt yourself more. And then everything that you're going through with with the doctors and everything, and the medical situation, the fear that you might feel that you're not going to have enough money, the feeling that you're not going to be able to take care of yourself, like that fear that comes with that. I can only imagine, you know. And that's why I ask myself, when I feel down and I start feeling really sad and I feel hopeless, I ask myself, what makes you feel like you get a pass when there are people like Lee, you know, who are going through something much more difficult, And I know that someone else's situation doesn't minimize my own, it doesn't negate the fact that I'm going through a really tough time. But I feel like it does help me feel more empathy towards, what you're going through. And so and Lee, maybe have you thought about writing, a blog or something, so that it might help, because I know that you do gratitude posts on Facebook, and that's amazing, and it shows incredible strength of character to be able to find something grateful every day and post on Facebook every day to try to uplift others. I think that's incredible. I think that's incredibly strong of you to do that, to even think about trying to uplift others when you're going through something so difficult yourself, you know and not dragging people down, with the way I do. Sometimes, sometimes I just get negative. But wow, it's admirable. It's very noble of you, Lee. And I think that maybe, what if you could start a blog on WordPress? It's free. And you can go to WordPress.com, and especially because you can't really get around much anymore, and you're spending a lot of time at home now. Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to connect with others and share what you're going through. Maybe even your first post can be, about how this all started a year ago, what happened, Maybe you can even do it in a story form. You know, I was at my job one day, and you know, life was pretty mundane, I guess, and every day just kind of seemed like the day before, and then everything changed, because this happened, and then start sharing about the feelings that you felt, the fear, the anxiety, the depression, and overcoming suicidal thoughts, like I think it would be extremely beneficial to someone who might be going through a really, really tough time, and they might even reach out to you and email you, and they might want to connect or even just say thank you. And I think that might really help you too, right? It would help you just as much as it would help someone, as much as you're helping others. Same thing with me, you know. I mean, and it's just an idea. I don't want to add to your, I don't want to make you feel guilty for not doing it, because you don't have to do anything. Really. It's not something you should do. It's just something you could do. And I just, it's just something to consider, I guess, but I'm not trying to tell you what to do or trying to make you feel bad. I just, the conversations that I have with you, Lee, whenever we do talk, is extremely helpful. Really, it is. And when you opened up to me and told me things that happened in your past, it was, it really helped me feel connected, and it made me feel like there is hope, that we are capable of getting through indescribably difficult situations and difficult times. Dale Carnegie, he says in his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, all of us are capable of getting through just one more day. No matter how difficult the situation, no matter how heavy the burden, we can carry it for just one more day. And then as we do that, day by day, we get stronger and stronger. And then that same burden doesn't feel as heavy, right? And I just, Lee, I think that you're so inspiring. And I would love to see you share some of that with the world. And don't let the fear of what other people might say, the criticism and judgments of others, don't let that stop you, because you have an incredible gift to share. And I think that it would just be such a shame for you to take it to the grave with you, and not share it with the world before you go, right? Because life is so short, and on top of that, it's so difficult. Life is so hard and difficult sometimes, and on top of that, it's short. So maybe by sharing that how you overcame a lot of these difficulties, you know, or even how sometimes the difficult times got the best of you, but then the next day you were able to get back on your feet and try it again. And I think by sharing the things that you've went through, it would really help. And again, you can go on WordPress.com, start your own blog for free. um Let's see. Crystal LaCroix says, no one is perfect, but I don't think that someone who can give such good advice that speaks to people could possibly be a bad person. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. Amateur Superfan says, I know a guy who survived the Rwandan genocide. Wow. But unfortunately, his parents were slaughtered in front of him and his sister. Oh my God. But he was doing great now that he's in America. There's a story where a woman, I can't remember her name now, but yeah, she watched her family slaughtered in front of her, and not only did she forgive the people who did it, she's learned to love them. Isn't that amazing? Wow, and she shared her story, and I think that that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to share our story, not because we want to impress anyone, not because we want any kind of recognition or acknowledgement or anything like that, but just to leave it behind so that when we're gone, it might help someone else. Lee Raleigh, it makes me feel useful. Nice. Lee says, I'm making a list of topics. I know it would help me. You are not making me feel guilty. Awesome. Now you're going to make me cry. Oh, Lee. And I promise my dad I keep writing. I need to stop waiting and just sit down and do it. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Lee says, man, the human spirit is amazing. Yeah, you're proof. You're proof of that, Lee. And I'm so happy that you're actually starting to make a list of topics and you're starting to make a plan. Yeah, share it. And here's the awesome thing. Once you start blogging, once you start writing blog articles, right? You can later on take all those blog articles that you wrote, right? And over time it starts to accumulate, and then you can take all of those blog articles that you've already written and then just edit it and organize it into a book. See, sitting down to try to write a book sometimes is a really big task, right? It's like daunting sometimes, like, oh my God, I got to write this whole book. But when you start writing little blog articles, right? Just an article here and there, then these blog posts start to accumulate, and now you have all of these blog posts to draw from. You can just copy and paste and then start to edit and organize, and you can actually create a book out of the blog posts that you put up, each week or every day, whatever you choose. But still, even if you did it once a month, wrote one article, one blog post a month, right? After a year, that's 12 articles. And then you can condense that down to 10 chapters. And now you have a book, But it would be nice. It would be nice for you to leave that behind, because the things that you went through, Lee, and the stories that you had to share with me are incredibly inspiring. And that's just my opinion, but you're not writing it for the masses, right? Hopefully you're not trying to be New York Times bestselling author. That would be amazing, and that would be fantastic if you are. But even if you're never a best-selling author, and you're not like on the New York Times bestseller list, even if one person picked up that book and they read it and now they're not feeling them, lifts them out of their darkness, that would be worth it, right? That would be worth it. That the words that you share and write down on a piece of paper, that the words that are in print, because the printed word is so powerful, right? Because it captures your emotions and the lessons that you learned in life, and then somebody else can actually pick that up and read it, and it can change their heart. It can touch their heart in a way that causes them to reconsider taking their own life. Maybe it causes them to see their life in a different way, and now they feel inspired. That's a powerful gift that we all have. We all have this ability to change somebody else's life. Crystal says, that gave me goosebumps. Oh, wow. I'm not sure what exactly, but Lee says, that's so true. No, it would be for me. Exactly. Knowing that you did it, and knowing that you left it behind, right? Because I feel like, what did they say? Several people have said it, that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, is the cemetery, because people have all of these ideas and these, gifts and talents that they were too afraid to share with the world, so they take it with them in the grave. Songs that were never written, books that were never written, blogs that were never started, a podcast that never got started, videos that never got made, because we're afraid. We're afraid of what people might say or think. We're afraid of that judgment and the rejection, or the ridicule. But in the end, once we're gone, once we're dead and gone, none of that matters. Who cares what people said about you, or how they judged you, or how they pointed and laughed? That's okay, because once you're gone, at least you have a book that you left behind, right? And you have these things, so for me, for example, I know what a lot of people say about me. Some people take a screenshot of the negative comments people make about me on Facebook and the different private groups, and they send it to me. So I'm well aware that some people think that, I'm just an attention seeker, and I'm aware of what people say, but guess what? When I'm dead and gone, right? I will still have my YouTube videos that I made and left behind for other people. Hopefully, it's helpful to pet owners, and hopefully, it's helpful to other groomers. Um, I will still have 2 books that I've written, The Art of Grooming and The 4 Steps to a Beautiful Groom. And in that second book, The 4 Steps to a Beautiful Groom, I also included the 3 C's of grooming, calm, compassionate, and confident, or calm, confident, and compassionate. But that one chapter about compassion, I really love sharing that story about the homeless man and feeling that compassion for him, you know, and encouraging him, inspiring him, and when I was able to share words of encouragement to him, it actually touched my heart and it made me cry, you know, and I love the fact that I got to share that story in that book. And now when I'm dead and gone, that will always be there for others to read if they want, you know. So it doesn't matter what people say about me. It doesn't matter how they ridicule me, or the judgments that they make about me. None of that matters when I'm dead and gone. What matters is that at least I put it out there. My podcast, The Tao of June, where I share my ideas and things that I'm going through, you know, like all of these things that I was so scared to do because I was so scared of what people might say about me. I did it anyways. And now, yeah, there are some people that say bad stuff about me, but there are other people like Lee, Crystal, Amateur Super Terry, there are people who have been greatly affected, impacted by the things that I shared. And for me, that's worth it. It means the world to me, and when I leave this world, I know I can't take anything with me. I have to leave behind all of my prized possessions, anything that I value, even the most precious thing to me, which is my daughters. I can't take them with me. I wouldn't even want to, you know? I want to leave them behind. But when I leave this world, what I can take with me are the memories, the experiences, and knowing that I left behind, things that are meaningful to me, things, the lessons that I've learned, the, the, the things that I feel like might be helpful to someone who is in a similar situation as me. Knowing that I left that behind for others, and the experiences that I had, the memories that I had, the connections that I've created, the moments that touched my heart, and touched the heart of others, I can take all of that with me, Let's see. Crystal, the giving forgiveness over something like that gave me goosebumps. Well, that's awesome. I'm well, I'm so shocked sometimes that that the things that I have to say actually make an effect on someone. Like, wow, gave you goosebumps. That's awesome. Amateur superfan. My friend, after the genocide, went on to do terrible things, but then became a good person and lives for the best life he can give to others. Amazing. Yeah, and I'm sure for a little bit there, he felt angry and resentful and bitter. Natural responses, natural emotions that you would feel after witnessing something like that, going through something terrible like that, right? And yeah, but then he was able to forgive himself, and now he's able to live a good life that's helping others, right? Terry Miller, I love writing too. I started writing and listening to you talk, and seeing the comments reminds me that no matter what, I need to keep at it. Yeah, Terry, because it's so important for us to share our experiences, and that way, the thing is, we all know that life is painful sometimes, and we all have to suffer. But by sharing the things that we've learned from that, the gems that we can extract from those times of high pressure, right? By leaving that with others, by sharing it, it makes our life meaningful. It means something that we went through that, right? So that we didn't just suffer in vain. So that it wasn't just for nothing. that we went through life and, went through some difficult situations. It wasn't for nothing, because when we write it down, when we share it and leave it behind for others, now it meant something that we were here and we went through it. Lee says, and that means I have to hang around to actually write something. Exactly, Lee. You got to stick around until it's done, right? You've been commissioned. This task was given to you. The ideas and the inspiration that you got to write and share the things that you have to share, it came to you because Les Brown said it best. Ideas and inspiration only come to us because they know that we have the ability, we are capable of giving them life, of making it a reality, bringing it out into the world. It came to you, this inspiration, this idea came to you, Lee, because it knew that you could give it life. You are capable of doing it. And he follows that up, Les Brown follows that up and says, imagine that you're laying on your deathbed and all of the ideas and inspirations that came to you that you never followed through on, that you never made into reality, they're standing around your deathbed looking at you with angry eyes. Oh my God, I got goosebumps, I got chills just even talking about this. They're looking at you with angry eyes and they're saying, we came to you, you could have given us life, but now we all have to die with you. Wow, I just got chills all over my body. And so that's when I heard that like maybe 6-7 years ago. When I heard that, it really gave me the motivation I needed, the inspiration I needed to just go ahead and write the book. Because now, at least the podcast idea, the Tao of June, the Art of Grooming, the 4 Steps to a Beautiful Groom, my blog, June the Groomer blog, and the articles that I wrote, and, the YouTube channel, at least these are ideas and inspirations that won't be standing around my deathbed saying, we came to you, you did nothing to give us life, and now we have to die with you. At least they won't be around my deathbed. I'll be like, no, I did it. I gave you life, Let's see. Lee, Terry, you definitely should keep at it. We never know when or what we say will change someone's life. Exactly. We never know. We really don't. And different people hear things differently. So something you might say might affect someone in a real positive, impactful way, that changes their life, and you would have never expected it. Maybe something you kind of said in passing that you really didn't even think about, but you said it and they heard it, and now their life has changed. You never know. Terry Millis, thank you, Lee. Lee says, wow, that is amazing. Yeah, right, Lee? So, maybe instead of feeling like you've lost everything and now you have to start from scratch, you can look at it like you've gained so much experience. You've gained so many lessons, right? You didn't lose anything. You've gained so many life experiences and lessons that will be helpful and valuable to others. And now, instead of starting from scratch, you can look at it like you're creating, something, a blog or a book or something. You're now taking everything that you've gained up until now, and you're going to organize it in a way that is going to be helpful to others. This is a new stage in your life where you're not starting from scratch. You're creating something out of all of the experiences that you've gained up until now. So rightly. And so just like I said before, I didn't say it, but Dr. Wayne Dyer's quote, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So Lee, your situation is still the same, right? Your leg is still hurting. You're still not able to move around. Your financial situation is still the same. You're still, feeling alone. But maybe this alone time is exactly what you need so that you have this uninterrupted time, for your stream of consciousness to organize your ideas, and the experiences that you have to share. Maybe this is exactly what you need. You don't need a lot of people around you right now. You don't need a lot of friends wanting to hang out every night. Maybe that would be a distraction, because right now, in this time of your life, this stage of your life, this is exactly where you need to be. This is exactly what needs to happen, so that you don't really have any other option but to sit down and write. Maybe, right? Crystal says, I love seeing the support here. Everyone trying to lift other people up. Oh, yeah, Crystal. I mean, because we need it, right? I need it. I need it. You know, who cares about you guys? No, just kidding. Seriously, though, I need this. I need to feel supported and uplifted. And the best way to receive it is to give it, right? I think they were saying that love and happiness and joy, all of these positive emotions, the best way to get it is to give it. And the more you share, the more you have. You know, it's amazing. But anyways, so hopefully this was helpful to everybody. I better get home and get to sleep, because I got a big day tomorrow and I gotta drive 7 hours down to Orlando after I groom my client's dog. Terry says, I love it too, Crystal. What, Terry, thank you so much. I love it too. I mean, this community that we've built, you know, it really keeps me going. It really does. Knowing that if I didn't show up one day, if I stopped showing up, there's going to be a few people that miss me. It makes me feel like, like I matter, you know? And you guys matter to me so much. Without you guys participating, encouraging me, uplifting me, it would be really tough, and I would feel super lonely and sad, you know. And I do struggle with the feelings of loneliness and sadness. But now I instead of trying to avoid it or resist it or try to numb it, I just allow myself to feel it, and I tell myself I'm so grateful that I'm able to experience these emotions, because this is part of the human experience, and I feel more connected with others because I can go through this, the way others have to go through it too, you know. Um, Krista, we all need it. You all are awesome. Yeah, you guys are, seriously. Crystal, you too. You're so amazing. This community is awesome. You do matter. We all matter. Exactly, right? Um, and I know that a lot of people attribute quotes to Einstein that he never said, but from what I hear, as far as I know, Einstein said, "You have weight." No, what did he say? Yeah, you have. What does it say? You have weight. You have mass. You matter, right? Or something. What did? Maybe I'll. Maybe I'll. Uh, okay. Let me see here if I can Google this real quick before I go. You matter quotes. What did it say? No, that's not the one. I'm just gonna put Einstein because that's who I saw. You are living, you occupy space, you have mass, you matter. So that's, yeah, yeah, right? But yeah, I'm not sure if Einstein really said that, but yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you exist, you take up space, you have weight, you have mass, you matter. Anyways, man, that that took way too long to get to that. Anyways, well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time and your attention. Hopefully, this inspires you to try to be an artist, right? Like Seth Godin says, our job, our responsibility to the world is to make art, to create something for others that is generous in nature, that has an element of risk. This might not work out. People might not like it. And it touches the heart of the receiver. Lee says, that's awesome, whoever said it. Yeah, whoever said it, right? Thank you, Lee. I will. And, I'm gonna stop, make lots of stops, stretch, make sure, I don't feel all tight and wound up. So Saturday when I groom Charlie, you know, I can feel confident, right? So yeah, we'll see. And then I'll be streaming on my other channel because on my phone I can't stream live on this channel because I need 1,000 subscribers, but that's okay. I don't need 1,000 subscribers. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying in order to stream from this channel, on my phone, it's saying it requires me to have 1,000 subscribers. So I'm gonna stream from my other channel, the June the Groomer channel, um, on my phone. So if you guys want to join me, if you guys want to see the live groom, um, and hopefully everything will work out. Everything will be fine, and I'm not going to hurt the dog by accident. Hopefully I won't get hurt and everything's going to be fine. We'll see. But, anyways, thank you, Terry. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you so much. Oh, let me end it the way I like to always end it in my streams. I honor the light in you that's also in me. Namaste.